Hello, welcome to video training. We'll be covering the unit system, chapter 1, level 2, add change accessory file. From the main menu, hit unit sales. Let's go into accessory maintenance. Before we get started, let's talk about the accessory file and why you would want to create one. Number one reason is when you're adding products to your system, whole products, many products come with lots of different options and different accessories. So you can add them, and every time you can type in all these individual accessories. So then what you find yourself doing is typing in the same thing over and over again. So if I had 10 units and they all had the exact same accessories or options on them, I'd be typing in the same thing over and over again. Well, to avoid doing that, anytime you find yourself typing in the same exact thing on a regular basis, you can eliminate that by creating an accessory file, put into a file, so now you can list all those accessories. Instead of typing them in, you can just click and say, okay, this particular unit has option A, option B, option C, option D, and now you can create nice long descriptions that are very meaningful, and you're not typing in the same thing on a regular basis. That's one option when you're actually adding units, as well as prep charges, things like that. Another option is when you're selling units. You can also use it as a good sales tool, so that when you're talking to a potential customer and you're creating a deal, and maybe that customer says, well, what type of options do I have on this particular unit? You can actually type in a model, and it'll show you all the options that you can order with that model. So now you can intelligently say to a customer, here's all the options. Here's what they're going to cost you. Which ones would you like? And you can click on the ones that you'd like. So it really streamlines the sales cycle. It streamlines adding units. Also, there's a third thing. Many of the manufacturers supply us with an accessory file. We have some manufacturers where they supply this accessory file and it's coded by models. You should check to see if in fact we have, for the manufacturers that you're working with, an accessory file. One thing you may want to do is call the company up or the manufacturers that you're dealing with and ask them. If they can give you an accessory file, we're listing all their accessories, we can import it into the system. Okay, let's show you how you can create one. Number one is when we ship you the system, we give you a sample accessory file. I'm going to hit lookup. And this is typically the file that you may be looking at. And I'll just show you a couple. There are various different examples designed for different industries. There's some designed for the marine industry, like a Coast Guard package. There are some designed for the motorcycle industry, like motorcycle saddlebags. There are some designed for like prep charges. But let's look at this here. Let's look at Coast Guard package first. What I've done is I've said, look, I may want to put a Coast Guard package on every boat before I even sell it. As soon as it comes in, I want that salesperson to say, look, it comes with a Coast Guard package. It's going to cost you $120. If you don't want it, we can delete it off. But there again, or you may say you can't delete it off. You're going to get it whether you want it or not. You can actually set these things up so they cannot be deleted off of a particular deal. Now what we have here is we've got a Coast Guard package. Here's what my estimated cost is. Here's what I wanted to sell it for. And here's what it includes. Now also, we have things, for example, like prep charges. You can also put in, like I got here, prep charge. There is no charge. But when that customer buys this unit, I want him to know that, hey, we set it up. Hey, the price includes the prep charges. It includes all these things we did. So the price of this unit includes all this stuff. So whether you give it a price or whether you don't give it a price where it's added a price, that's up to you. Let's create a new one. Okay, by creating a new one, we can type in any code we want. Now this code, and I'm going to hit the Enter key, and it's the standard maintenance screen. If that code is out there, it would say changing and show me what it is. If it's not out there, it's going to clear the screen and say, okay, I'm adding a new one. I would give it a description. Obviously, this description would be something meaningful. Now, if this is going to be something where it's an added charge, where I want to charge, I can put in a cost, I can put in a charge. Let's suppose I'm not going to put in a cost. Let's say I want to charge an extra $200 for this option that I want to put in here. Let's suppose that I want to put in a particular model of a unit. So whenever I type in that model, all these things are going to list. Whether this is going to be taxable or a non-taxable item. Whether I want to allow the salesperson to delete it or not delete it. Do I want to give it just a one line, or do I want to give it some descriptions? And there again, you can give it as many descriptions as you want. It's pretty much unlimited. And obviously you can cut and paste. If I hit F4 to add, that is now in my system. I can change it. You know, I can go in, add, modify it, change what I want to change, hit change. And now when I type in new or I look that up, that's the description that's going to show up. Now there's also some other options. For example, let's do a, let's type in Coast Guard package. There's some other things that you can do. You may want to just have one big one that's basically for a particular product. Maybe there are 7 or 8 options that somebody could order individually. It's not like a package. They can order them individually. You can create a separate code for each one. And that way there, when you're on your list, you can just click, okay, he wants this one, this one, this one, and this one. And you'd list it by model. Or if you want, you could do it like this. You could say, okay, I'm creating one coded, but I'm going to not just have one price. I'm going to have individual prices for each and every one. You could do that by actually zeroing this out here, not putting a cost in here, and doing what we do this here, add options to detail line. So I don't want one price that includes all this. I want each one of these to be a different price, and I can select it or delete each one out of here. So let's do this here, add options to detail line. And now what it's going to say, okay, what do you want to charge for that? Well, we're going to charge $50 for this here. Now, if it's something that you're going to be pulling out of inventory, maybe you don't want to put a cost on here. The cost will get automatically pulled out of inventory. But you want to set the price automatically. And you can individually put your prices. And so now it's basically saying, okay, if you get everything, it's $92. Now when we select that, we can actually pick each individual one. So somebody will say, okay, I want that, but I don't want this. I want this, I don't want that. So there are various different options. And if we look at, and there again, you can set one-liners. And if you did a listing, you can list things by keyword. You can list things by model. Now, some people will list it by brands, models, accessory codes, just by name or keyword. You know, if I'm looking for anything that's got the word, M/C. You know, our standard lookup, keyword obviously is the most powerful, and whether it's just a one-liner, where that's what this is, or it's multiple lines. Also, if we go back in here and we do our lookup here, there's also things where you can set up in here. You can set things up like doc fees, registration fees, things that you're doing on a regular basis that you just don't want to type it in. Now, maybe the price might be different. You can set ones up with different prices. You can set one generic one and change the price on the fly. But this code is what's going to be used tied to general ledger. So, for example, if I registered products that I sold and I want to keep track of that, I could make a code called REG, maybe registration, and then list, okay, here's my registration fee, put in a price. Maybe you normally charge $50, but maybe sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 60. You could make different ones with different prices, or you can just have one and just change the price individually on that line. Now, when that goes to general ledger, in your override, you can set up registration fee to go to a particular account, so you can track that in one particular account. There again, we'll be going over that more in the general ledger package. Also in the accessory file, it's used for dealer rebates. If you're a Yamaha dealer, Yamaha has a program called Yamaha Bucks. It works somewhat differently depending on the state you're in or the country you're in. so that if you are a Yamaha dealer and you do use the Yamaha Bucks program, you may want to talk to the support department, tell them what your particular formula is. For example, if I do a lookup here and I look up some of my Yamaha Bucks programs, basically some of those things are where if a customer buys a Yamaha product, they get a particular credit. That credit can get used for parts, so that customer can now buy parts and they get a $300 credit, and the dealer gets reimbursed $100. So they have particular promotional programs. They have Yamaha Bucks programs, and many dealers have other types of rebate and promotional programs. What we recommend you doing there is calling our support staff, let them know what your particular programs are with your dealers, and we'll show you how to set that up. Okay, so we've seen setting up the accessory file. Obviously, it's a standard maintenance program. You can take in a code, make it as long or as short as you want. Now, how it gets utilized, let's take a look at it. It's utilized in a couple of different ways. For example, if I'm adding units, and now let's just type in a unit here. We'll do, and I'm going to add a new one. And there again, I'm going to cheat. We're going to leave that blank. We're going to just, this is something that we've gone over before. We're going to change our VIN number, and I'm just going to hit add. Sake of argument here, so this we're going to say okay to add. We're keeping everything the same. Yes, I want to generate a stock number. Yes, here's my user-defined template. Now, this is where we're talking about that accessory file. Up until now, you've probably been using this free format button. And that's pretty much how we set it up and how we trained you. But once you create an accessory, like suppose I know I want this thing comes with a bunch of accessories. Well, if I know the code, I can type in the code. Maybe I have one for just a particular model, and all of them will come up on the screen. Or I can just do a lookup, and I can pick the options that I want to add to this. Maybe this particular boat has downriggers. Maybe I want to add that. Maybe I want to add an anchor. Maybe I want to add, whatever options I want. When I hit the escape key, there's the options I've added. Some of them are free. Some of them aren't. I didn't have to type anything. If I changed my mind and I made a mistake, there again, we've gone over this already. I can double click and delete it off. So if I typed in that Coast Guard package, yes, I want to put it on there. There's my Coast Guard package. So it's used for adding new products. I didn't have to type anything. There again, many times there'll be no cost here. You just want to list all the accessories. Obviously, that sales cycle is much easier when you list all the accessories and options that come with it. Whether the price includes it or not, it's a good idea. So when you print out a sticker or when you're talking to a customer, you can say, look, this price includes all this stuff. Or there may be additional charges. So that's one major reason why you would want to create an accessory file, to eliminate typing, obviously. Now, the next thing is in the sales cycle, as we did in Chapter 1, creating and recall the deal. And I'm going to look up an existing deal here. Let's look at Tom Moore. Well, Tom Moore has a motorcycle here. Now, if he asked me, obviously we're losing 14%. That's something that we probably need to look at. But if he asked me, well, what accessories can I have? What options can I buy? You can click here. Let's see right here. Add accessories. Or, obviously, it's much easier doing dealer options. And here's that exact same file. So if somebody said, hey, look, I've got this motorcycle. What's it going to cost to put saddlebags on it? It's $104. Now that price is the price that you're quoting. Hey, that's to buy the saddlebags to put them on. That may be an option that you haven't ordered yet, and that's what it costs if we order it from the manufacturer. You may have another price of what it would cost if it didn't come with the saddlebags, but we're going to install them. Customers don't want to hear that, well, the bags are $50, we're going to charge you $50 to put it on. They just want to say, what's it going to cost? I assume that you're going to put it on. So there again, it just makes things easy. Okay, that's creating an accessory file. Now I'm telling this here, or I'm out of here, that we're going to follow up with this customer in June 4th. So now the computer is going to remind me to call this customer up June 4th. Okay, that concludes the accessory file. If you have any questions, please call support.